Okay, folks, a pleasant good afternoon from Monrovia. I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining us. This is Spoon TV Live. My name is Nelson Collet. We are coming to you live from up Capitol Hill. This is the National Legislature where we're standing right now. Happens to be the Senate wing of the National Legislature. Others refer to it as Capitol Building, but it's here up Capitol Hill. And of course, on my left happens to be the representative wing of the House, the legislature. This is where the folks from the House of Representatives, the lawmakers, are, and here you have the senators. Well, today is June 11, and happens to be 2024, and we're here again as we do to give you the regular updates from here on the grounds of the Capitol at the level of the Liberian Senate to bring you up to speed with some of the issues transpiring here at the Liberian Senate, some of the very actions taken by lawmakers, and some of the plans, the progress, or whatever they're making at the level of the Liberian Senate. So I'd like to say welcome to all of you. Thanks for joining us. Firstly, I'd like you to kindly give us feedback on the audio quality. Please let us know what the audio quality is like, as to whether it's something good enough for us to work with. Give us an update, just a feedback on the audio quality before proceeding with this very important update here from the Liberian Senate. We appreciate if you were to give us feedback on the audio quality. Kindly let us know what the audio quality is like. Is it good? Is it something we can work with? We want you to first of all give us feedback on the audio quality. Anthony says the sound is good, and I see Lucas said good sound from Assad, and I see Juju Mason says the sound is good, and I see some very good feedback coming. That means that this audio quality is okay enough. It's something that we can work with. First of all, I want to say that today the Senate had her 25th day regular sitting of the first session of the 55th legislature of the Republic of Liberia on this 11th day of June 2024, and I'm making it on the agenda today. So the agenda decides or determines what the senators or the legislators will discuss on that particular day in their session as they converge. And so making it on the agenda today at the level of the Liberian Senate, there were 8 committee reports on individuals or folks who were nominated or designated by the president to serve in some strategic positions in government. All these nominations and the reports specifically that were brought today or that surfaced on the agenda for Senate discussion today were concentrated on the National Security Agency of the Republic of Liberia, and a lot of people refer to it as the NSA for short. So there were nominations made. For example, you have Dr. Monrovia was nominated for the position of Deputy Director for Research at the National Security Service. You have Stephen B. Dolo was nominated for Deputy Director for Operations at the National Security Service. You have others such as Soni Basiri. Mama K was nominated as well as Assistant Director for Extended Assistant Director for Extended Offices, and the list goes on. So eight nominations. There were confirmation hearings held for those nominees, and of course the Liberian Senate was today able to make a decision on those nominees. The Liberian Senate voted unanimously, 26 senators. There was a unanimous vote as of the time of the voting today in the Senate. All 28 senators voted to confirm these officials of government. So 28 nominees, that's 8 nominees were being confirmed today by the Liberian Senate to serve in various positions, different capacities at the level of the National Security Service, or the NSA for short. What that means is that that institution, following a smooth transition that Liberians saw on the 22nd of January of this year, that institution is about to see start functioning properly in accordance with what this administration wants for the National Security Service, or the NSA for short. Now, aside from that, from the nomination, the 8 nominees who were unanimously voted for and confirmed today by the Liberian Senate, there was an ad hoc committee set up to investigate, to do some investigation on the METEC and the CTN situation in the country. That committee is being headed by the Bapolu County Senator Amara Kane. And as head of the committee today, this issue was captured on the agenda for discussion. So he had to come up with a briefing to the Liberian Senate, all the next steps on the DI and the CTN investigation that was being commissioned by the pro tempore of the Liberian Senate. And of course, they did a briefing today. So the committee, in summary, requested for more time to have a detailed knowledge or understanding as to how a lot of things have been playing out between the government of Liberia, the relevant agencies, and institutions, and that of the CTN or the METEX. So that committee, just a brief report that was presented today by the senator, he first of all was requesting for more time for the committee to be able to gain a comprehensive understanding of the findings, and because they've received lots of documents, and so in order to get a comprehensive understanding of everything that they've gathered so far, they're requesting for more time first of all, and they're also wanting to have a hearing with the management of GTMS, the National Port Authority, the National Investment Commission, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. You have the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, PPCC, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and other institutions, relevant institutions such as the LRA, on the 12th of June, which is tomorrow at about 11 a.m. That committee have requested to have a public hearing with those relevant institutions to be able to get further understanding as to how this issue between the GTMS and the government of Liberia has been going on. What that means is that the ad hoc committee is still working actively. That's why they requested for more time so that they can be able to conclude investigation on this particular issue. And in the case of METEC, Senator Amara Kane, as you know, equally addressed that issue in order for the committee to have a comprehensive understanding with respect to the workings between the government of Liberia and METEC. They have also requested to have a public hearing at the chambers of the Liberian Senate with the relevant institutions as well, management of METEC, the National Investment Commission, the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the PPCC, Public Procurement and Concession Commission, and other relevant institutions. And that hearing is slated for the 17th of June at 11 a.m. That's going to be on Monday. So those two public hearings will set the basis for this ad hoc committee to have a comprehensive understanding as to how this deal between the government of Liberia and those relevant institutions that have the METEC and CTN has been going on. This process started in 2016, and it was finally finally turned out to be a contract between the government of Liberia, in the case of in one case with the National Port Authority, and that of CTN of the that of CTN or the METEC. So, given the fact that there were processes leading to all of these issues, the relevant institutions will be having a public hearing, or the Liberian Senate will be having a public hearing with those relevant institutions. So some of the issues they're going to be looking at has to do with the procurement process. In the case of the GTMS, which began on in 2016 up to 2018 when the contract was finally signed. They're going to look at the procurement process. They're going to look at financial management and also the ownership structure of this institution as well, clarification on the ownership structure of the GTMS. Who exactly are those that own these institutions? How did they enter into the agreement? All of the processes leading to how those contracts were being signed are all issues that are going to be looked into as they move on with the public hearing. Now, on the flip side, on AOB today at the Liberian Senate, there were a couple of issues raised. The first one was the issue of flooding in Monrovia County. Most of you are aware there was a pull down, for a couple of days in the country. Yesterday, there have been videos circulating, even on the social media, with respect to some parts of Monrovia or Monrovia County being heavily flooded, with the rehab community where the president, the current president, the former president, President George Weah, and the current speaker of the legislature, where they reside, that community have been heavily flooded. So Senator Sir Joseph raised the issue of flooding as a national emergency. He thought to call the attention of the Liberian Senate to the flooding situation in the country. He stressed the need for the disaster management agency to be heavily funded or given the necessary support so that they can be able to adequately address the issue or the situation that has to do with flooding in parts of Monrovia and adjacent. And on that particular discussion, there were different views. There was a little bit of debate, for a couple of minutes with respect to flooding in the country, where there were other senators who held different views. For some, in the case of Senator Yan Twine of Liberian County, his position on this, as today at the session of the Liberian Senate, was that it's not just about Monrovia County, it's about other parts of the country. He stated an instance from his county, a situation where over 10 homes were being brought down as a result of massive flooding. He also stressed the reactive posture of the disaster management agency, how invisible they've been, especially when most of these flooding situations occurred. So at the end of the day, the Liberian Senate was able to make a decision to call on the relevant committees to be able to engage, take siege of the matter, engage with the relevant authorities so as to address the situation that has to do with flooding in the country. Well, Senator Edwin Melvin Snow raised a very important concern today at the Liberian Senate, at the plenary. There were two communications he addressed today to be looked into by that esteemed body. The first one happens to be an action from the Minister of Public Works. He addressed a communication wherein he stated that the current Public Works Minister, despite some decision or pronouncement from the President of the Republic of Liberia to shut down the Western Cluster based on how damaging their operation is in that part of the country, not just there, but even the roads from the county leading to central Monrovia, how much of an impact their transportation work, the big trucks they use along that corridor is having on road connectivity in the country. Well, according to Senator Snow, the Public Works Minister went and addressed a communication to Western Cluster, giving them a road users permit. Despite the pronouncement from the President, he gave them a road user permit. And that permit, not just that a road user permit is there that is going to give Western Cluster access to the road, but the permit also increased the number of vehicles that should be plying that corridor. Initially, it was 50 vehicles. Now, according to the road user permit and whatever, and the communication that has been sent from the Public Works Minister to Western Cluster, it has increased the number of vehicles from 50 to 100, and from 50 to 125. And each of those vehicles are being allowed to make 2 trips per night, which means that 250 trips are going to be made from Western Cluster in Western Liberia to Central Monrovia, to the free port of Monrovia, where they always take their products. And so the Bomi County lawmaker sees this as a serious violation, as something that undermines even the pronouncement from the president when he visited the site there in that part of the country, in Bomi County. And so he has addressed a communication to have the Public Works Minister summoned to address those concerns as to why, in the midst of everything, the huge impact that Western Cluster's operation is having on road connectivity from Bomi County to Monrovia, why exactly did the Public Works Minister grant a road user's permit to Western Cluster in the midst of this issue? Well, there was another issue about some 250,000 according to the senator, which the Public Works Minister said was given by Western Cluster to be able to maintain the road, to make the road pliable, despite only because Western Cluster is making use of the corridor. The Bomi County Senator thinks that even the 250,000 that has been made possible cannot address the huge impact of Western Cluster's activity along that corridor. And so that has been a serious conversation at the level of the Senate today as well, in the plenary. Well, the final decision was to have the relevant committees, including the Committee on Transport at the Liberian Senate, to take siege of the matter and be able to report back to the Liberian Senate, to the plenary, within a week on that particular issue. Well, and yes, today, in the midst of the session, while session was going on, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, President VP Jeremiah Kwankun, walked in session, and as protocol demands, he is the President of the Liberian Senate, and once he's present, he presides. And so we saw at some point that the pro tem, Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence, handed her seat over to the Vice President, and then he was able to preside on today's session throughout until the end of the session. Well, in the midst of that, we saw a gesture from Senator Yan Twine of Nimba County, who was elected following a controversial issue in the county with a divided support from Senator Prince Johnson. For example, he appreciated the Vice President for his role played in his election as Senator of Nimba County, and also appreciated Senator Prince Johnson as well. And he displayed a photograph of he and Senator Prince Johnson that was presented to him by the Nimba County Senator Prince Johnson, indicating how much of excitement Senator Prince Johnson has, and how satisfied, how pleased Senator Prince Johnson is seeing that Senator Yan Twine has been elected as the next senator of the county, alongside Senator Prince Johnson. And so those were some of the highlights today from the Liberian Senate. And of course, we'll keep giving you more updates on these happenings, more details of all of these happenings today at the Liberian Senate. You can join Spoon Talk tonight when more details, videos, documents, and pictorials and everything will be displayed to give you details of some of those happenings. This was just a quick update from the Liberian Senate here, and I want to say thanks to all of you for watching Spoon TV. I'm Nelson Colette. We'll come back. Have a good day. Keep watching Spoon TV to get all of the updates from across Liberia. Thank you.